Hello and welcome to Mabinda TV. So for now, this is a quick recap. This is about the Kenyan celebrity scene. Then of course I'll look at an idea now that the KCSE results have been released. What next after KCSE, and then I'll look at Making America, where Donald Trump basically is calling for, is praising Facebook for dismantling its fact-checking team, calls it a win for free speech. And then in Africa perspectives, Cameroon President Paul Biya is going to run for a seventh term. So he has been in power for 42 years now. He will he will contest another election next year. He will contest another election. So basically, he has been in power for 42 years. Then before that, he was prime minister for 7 years. So basically, Paul Biya is going to contest for another term. So let's start off with the Kenyan celebrity scene. So basically, Rapudo, that is, Rapudo insists that basically Ambare, his wife, should leave her club gig. So basically, and people are asking, but Rapudo knew all along that Ambare was basically following the club gigs. So he got her from the club. So why is Rapudo now insisting that basically that Ambare should be able to quit her club gigs? So basically, is a club job a good enough job for a wife? Is Ambare a good enough? But I think, for according to the videos that Ambare posts, then basically she has nothing but wifey duties to Rapudo. Ambare really does wifey duties to Rapudo, and that is why maybe she is a homemaker. But of course, some people say you cannot get away from the club. That basically you cannot get away from the club. That is not a wife material. But then I ask, but also people that go to church get divorced all the time. That is, people that go to church get divorced all the time. So it's not assured that basically that if you get away from the club, then it means she is of the streets. It doesn't mean that if you get away from the club, then basically she is for the streets. I think maybe Rapudo wants to have an image, basically, but then of course Ambare asked, but Rapudo, I have not stopped you from working from a job. Why do you stop me from a job? And of course he says that Rapudo is being very, very unfair. So basically, is a club a good place to get a wife? That is a club a good place to get a wife? So that's it for now. And then now that the KCSE results have been released, of course, I like to look at the issue of brain drain. So Africa loses its best and brightest students go to the West. I think now that the 2024 KCSE results have been released, I think about 1,600 candidates got a grade S. They have been released. That is the KCSE 2024. But what is not highlighted in the news is that the top students will end up studying in America, mostly in the Ivy League institutions. You have the Harvards, the Yales, Princeton, MIT, Stanford, UK, maybe even some will go to Oxford or to Cambridge. So basically, the Kenyan best brains don't study in the country. So that's so you had KCSE 1989. You had the top student Naim Samnakei from the Alliance High School. He went to Australia to basically study. He went to Australia to study, I think, medicine. He's now a doctor at St. John's Hospital in Australia. Then you had the top student in 1990, Fred Were from Starehe. He went to pursue studies in America. Then, of course, in 1991, you had Humphrey Watanga among the top students. I'm not sure if he was the top student, but he joined University of Nairobi briefly, then got a scholarship to study biochemistry at Harvard. He is now the Commissioner General of that is KRA. And of course, then 1992, you had Gilbert Tengeta from Mango High School. He went to America to pursue studies. Then in 1993, you had Waneri Kasheru. He went to Harvard from the Alliance High School. And then, of course, 1994, you had Kirimania Murithi from the Alliance High School going to Harvard to pursue computer science. He now works for Mercury. I think 1995 you had James Mwangi from Alliance High School going to Harvard. I think he's now a management consultant and McKinsey and Company. Then in 1996 you had, I think, in 1996 there are so many of them there. I think Nathaniel Choge, he went to, I think, from the Alliance High School, he went to Harvard. In 1997 you had Mwashuma Nyata from the Alliance High School. He went to Harvard. He's at SoftBank, I think, in the US. Then 1998 you had Timothy Zairu going to from the Alliance High School going to Harvard in the US. Then in 1999 you had Samuel Gikandi from the Alliance High School going to MIT to pursue computer science. I think he's the chairman of the Stanbic Group. He's among the board members of the Stanbic Group. Then in 2000 you had Zar Tishampati from Mango High School going to Harvard, going to Australia, University of Adelaide. I think he's now a citizen in Australia. 2001 you had Amit Monga from Sarehe Boys Center going to McGill University in Canada. And then 2002 you had Paul Bundi from Kenya High School going to the University of Nairobi to pursue medicine. He's still a doctor. He is also a motivational speaker. Then in 1995 you had in 1995 you had I think in 2003, I don't quite remember, 2004, 2005 you had James Candiero teach from that is James Candiero teach from Moi High School, Canberra, going to MIT. He is a computer scientist at Google. Then in 2006, I think you had that is Herman Mutiso going to from the Alliance High School going to MIT. But of course, then Herman Mutiso chose MIT. But then Herman Mutiso basically he chose MIT instead of Harvard. So the following year, Harvard did not pick a student from Alliance. So what did they do? The principal of Alliance High School, that is Christopher Kaemba, he went to basically he went to Harvard to plead to the Harvard admission officials that Alliance High School students prefer no other school to Alliance High School students prefer no other student to basically to Harvard. Then of course you had in 2010 Wanjiku Mungai, you had then in 2011 you had Ed Magema, in 2012 Job Nalianya, basically he went to Stanford. Then you had Albert Wandui Kamau in 2014, he's doing his PhD, he went to Stanford, now he's doing his PhD at Caltech. So that's it now in. So you see, we lose our best and brightest brains as they go and study abroad. They never come back to study in our own universities. Then basically from that you're going to see we lose a lot of brains to these American institutions. So why can't we create enough jobs here in the country? Why are these people exporting jobs and not just Kenya? Africa loses has about 40,000 PhDs that are working in America. So why not bring these people to be able to do work right here in Africa? Then that's it. Then so brain drain, we need to create the right job opportunities. Maybe we need 20 or 30 universities to be able to be of top notch. Our universities are basically elevated high schools. There is no research that goes on in our high schools. There is no research that goes on in our universities. They are not generating new knowledge. So basically, our professors every now and then are holding strikes, and that is why then our education system suffers. So that's it. If we don't do that, basically, the Nigerian American Philip Magwali says that basically, even if you pour $1 trillion into Africa, Africa will still be poor because that $1 trillion has no intrinsic value. Remember, Philip Magwali got a full scholarship. I think he helped invent the supercomputer, and of course, by modeling it after the old rocks, and basically, so we lose that. I think you have in Malawi, there are more Malawian doctors in Manchester, England than in Malawi. So even if they send money back home in terms of remittances, that money basically even if they send that money in terms of remittances, but can you put a cost to a patient losing their life because there is no doctor? Remember, in Canada, the doctors argued that they got a salary increase, but the doctors rejected. They said, go and improve the healthcare system. Can that happen in Kenya? Can that happen in Africa? I don't think so. Then I'll go on to Remaking America. In Remaking America, then basically Donald Trump praises Facebook for dismantling its fact-checking team. So Facebook is moving along very much. I think it's going to be a right-wing echo chamber if we don't if maybe we don't if we are not careful, then Facebook is going to be a right-wing echo chamber. Donald Trump has praised it for dismantling its fact-checking team, the disinformation team. That's what Elon Musk did at X. And so basically, I don't think that is a very good prospect for America. That is Facebook. Donald Trump praises Facebook for dismantling its fact-checking team. And then in Africa perspective, in Africa press review, President Paul Biya is going to President Paul Biya is going to basically he is going to seek another term. He has been in power for 42 years. That is President Paul Biya. He has been in power for 42 years. So how much more can he get? He's 92 years old. So he wants to rule until he's 100 years old. So basically, can you leave power to younger, fresher people? So basically, the essence of a great the African dictator, the African strongman, has not realized that the essence of a great dancer is in leaving the stage while applause from the crowd is louder. So bye for now till the next time. Bye for now.